After Xerxes I got assassinated by one of his generals named Artaxerxes, his firstborn and the heir, Darius, also got murdered by Artaxerxes. Artaxerxes ascended Xerxes' third son, Artaxerxes I, to the throne to make him his puppet ruler. He was actually planning to kill Artaxerxes as well. However, Artaxerxes found out about the truth and he executed Artaxerxes and all of his sons.
Oh my God!
After killing Artaxerxes, Artaxerxes I officially crowned himself as the new king of kings of the Achaemenid Empire. But his older brother, Hystaspes, who was the satrap of Bactria, claimed that he was the one who should have become the new king of kings of the Achaemenid Empire, not Artaxerxes, simply because he was older than Artaxerxes. This was the time when the Achaemenid Empire was about to go through a civil war. But don't worry, Artaxerxes solved the problem in the most peaceful way possible. When Artaxerxes became king, the Achaemenid Empire was dealing with many problems because of the defeat of his father against the Greeks. The Greeks succeeded to make Europe independent from the Achaemenid rule. They were also tried to make all of the Greek islands independent from the Achaemenid rule, and they were also pushing forward to Anatolia, as the Athenians created a league known as the Delian League. During that time, the leader of Athens was Themistocles, the Athenian general and politician who played a great role in defeating the Achaemenids in their invasions of Greece. After the second Achaemenid invasion of Greece failed, Themistocles became so powerful and popular in Athens. However, throughout time he became arrogant. This was the time when the Athenians grew hatred toward him and they tried to kick him out of his homeland. Themistocles had no choice but to flee from Greece to the Achaemenid Empire and live there for the rest of his life as a refugee. But don't worry, Artaxerxes welcomed him with warmth. Just kidding.
Psych!
Not only Artaxerxes I forgave and welcomed Themistocles in the Achaemenid Empire, he also made him a governor. Themistocles lived the rest of his life in the Achaemenid Empire. He even learned the Persian language and adopted Persian costume and culture. Meanwhile, in Africa, the Egyptians tried to revolt against the Achaemenid rule once again. Egypt had a history of revolting and making riots against the Achaemenid rule to make their lands independent. The Athenians were the ones who supported the Egyptians to gain their independence. The leader of these riots were Inarus II, who claimed himself that he was the grandson of Psamtik III, the last pharaoh of the 26th dynasty, who got defeated by Cambyses II in the Battle of Pelusium. Inarus II succeeded to kill the satrap of Egypt, Achaemenes, who was the uncle of Artaxerxes I. He even sent the corpse of Achaemenes to Artaxerxes I as a message that Egypt is now free from the Achaemenid rule. When Artaxerxes found out about this, he sent an army in order to crush the rebellions in Egypt. He had an idea to make Themistocles the leader of this army, because he knew that the Athenians were the ones who were supporting the Egyptians for these riots. When Themistocles found out about this, he committed suicide, because he didn't want to fight his own people. When Themistocles died, Artaxerxes gave him an honorable funeral. He also swore that he will always protect Themistocles' family and children, as they live the rest of their lives in peace in the Achaemenid Empire. After Themistocles' death, Artaxerxes I sent his brother-in-law Megabuzus II to crush the rebellions in Egypt and take down Inarus II. The Achaemenid army succeeded to take down the rebellions in Egypt. They even succeeded to kick out the Athenians from Africa and force them to go back to their main lands. After taking down the rebellions, Inarus II got captured and he was sent to Artaxerxes I. He was later executed by Artaxerxes' order. After securing Egypt, Artemis was chosen as the new satrap of Egypt. Egypt was not the only region that the Athenians tried to make independent from the Achaemenid rule, as Artaxerxes I defeated the Greeks in a battle to save Cyprus. Artaxerxes I offered the Athenians a peace treaty to recognize each other's frontiers and do not attack each other and interfere in each other's policy. The Athenians accepted Artaxerxes' peace treaty because they realized that they cannot take more Achaemenid lands after their failure in Egypt and Cyprus. Artaxerxes I achieved those military victories with the help of his brother-in-law, Megabyzus II. Artaxerxes I and Megabyzus II had a very good relationship with each other, but later they began to have a conflict and Megabyzus began revolting against Artaxerxes' rule. As some sources suggest, a little civil war happened between Artaxerxes and Megabyzus. However, Artaxerxes' sister, Amytis, who was also Megabyzus' wife, interfered in the conflict and she convinced Artaxerxes to forgive Megabyzus. Eventually, Artaxerxes and Megabyzus made peace. Fun fact: Megabyzus II was named after his grandfather Megabyzus I, who was a friend and ally to Artaxerxes' grandfather Darius the Great. In the reign of Artaxerxes I, the Peloponnesian War started between the Delian League, led by Athens, and the Peloponnesian League, led by Sparta. Artaxerxes secretly supported the Greeks to fight each other, because it would benefit the Achaemenid Empire to take control of the Greek policy and even their lands. He was actually on the side of the Peloponnesian League, as he supported Sparta.
Shut up and take my money!
Artaxerxes I was given the nickname of Artaxerxes the Long-Armed. There are two stories about this nickname. The Greeks claimed that the right arm of Artaxerxes was longer than his left arm. Therefore, he was called Artaxerxes the Long-Armed. However, the Iranian sources suggest this nickname was given to him because he was a very wise king. Artaxerxes I ruled the Achaemenid Empire for 41 years, and he passed away in 424 BC. He was succeeded by his firstborn Xerxes II. However, Xerxes II ruled the empire for only 45 days. Because he got murdered by his younger stepbrother Sogdianus. But the thing is, Sogdianus also ruled the empire for 7 months. Because he was also murdered by one of his other stepbrothers named Ochus, who later crowned himself by the name of Darius II. Artaxerxes I also built some palaces in Persepolis, just like his father and his grandfather. Artaxerxes I got buried in the Nakhshe-Rostam. And that was the life of Artaxerxes I, whose cleverty managed him to stop the Greeks from advancing and taking more lands of the Achaemenid Empire. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Most of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribed. So come on guys, subscribe. It will give me so much positive energy. This is how I feel when you subscribe to my YouTube channel. But this is how I feel when you don't subscribe.
Oh!